Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted and I'm sitting here in the DM's chair, but we're not doing a live gameplay at the moment. We're going to talk about downtime and different things that the players have chosen to do, and how there's many different options of what can be done. So we'll just start over here and we'll hit at it. So Uthen-Gar, you are given a long span of time in between adventures. What is it that Uthen-Gar wishes to accomplish?
Okay, so Uthen-Gar has, from the very beginning, has had this main burning drive to complete his
dwarven quest.
Yeah, his duty. Well, actually, his duty from his hold, which was to bring back this book of arcane knowledge he's been accumulating for the past decade.
Okay.
And he did this dutifully, and when he finally got back to the hold with the completed book, it turns out it was blank. He had been cursed before going back, and he did not realize the extent of the curse that it affected, basically
all the way to his item.
Yeah, a chunk of his life's work. His goal at as a dwarf of clan Black Iron, and so he actually was shamed by one of the elders of the clan.
So now with this, to you guys out there, Dave had rolled on the trinket table, and he had gotten the book that won't hold any ink or markings of any kind. So he turned that into a quest item for himself, and he wrote the backstory to say, look, I've got to fill this book with information. I did it over the course of the last 10 years as a dwarven soldier and mage, and now all of this is for naught. What do I do to go about fixing it?
Right, so I inserted into my backstory that there was this crazy old guy that tried to steal a baby, and I stopped him, and while the watch was dragging him off in chains, he had cursed me. Yeah, pretty much. And, with that curse, that's what affected the book. So, once he established that this curse affected his book, he set out to find the warlock and break the curse. He did find the warlock, and did we kill him? You captured him?
You captured him, and in kind of the ending of the mayor, you wound up removing the cult from the town. So you wound up, you weren't able to really, inquire with him. He really didn't give you any information. But you did say, you did, request otherwise, what else can be done.
Yeah, I sought out the help of, from the elven library in Griffin-Gaff, the elder librarian there, Eleanor.
Yes, it's me and my crazy names, Ellen Asalar. So I sought him out, and over the course of the campaign, I've actually been basically
fostering a friendship between him. I've given him several gifts and thank yous for help that he's offered the town through us.
No, he is your typical elf that despises dwarves, and most dwarves fall into that. I wear armor, I fight stuff, and me axe. That's what he thinks of
dwarves. And Uthen-Gar is all of that.
He
plus
is
a
all
little
of
more.
That. But you're also a wizard, and you're actually more of a wizard than you are a fighter.
Yes.
So he looks at you as like, oh, he's walking around in armor. He's got an axe. It's a dwarf. So he was very cold-shouldered to you in the beginning.
So I actually had something else that happened, which was I ended up with this cursed dagger. It possessed me. I murdered a townsfolk that turned out to be a cultist anyway. She had actually provoked me. My response was quite extreme for what she was trying to do, but I was in the possession of this dagger. So again, I beseeched him to help him and others to help break the curse of the dagger and destroy this evil item. Which when I brought that to him, that helped foster some mutual respect.
Yeah, last session you guys wound up, you brought him the dagger, and you've tried multiple things, beseechment by a high level priest. You tried literally, reforging it in fire, and wasn't breakable. You know, you tried everything you could physically do.
We have not brought it up to a volcanic mountain yet.
Well, no, we have not.
But he divined, and told you that in order to destroy it, it must be made whole first. It's only a piece, and the pieces cannot be destroyed.
Right, and we kind of knew that it was a piece of something, and we actually feared bringing it together, but now it turns out we're probably going to have to,
right,
in order to destroy it. So in the meantime, I brought my problem to him and asked for his assistance, and so we had to actually go out on a road trip to a grove.
So before you get into this is the between. A lot of the stuff we've already talked about is stuff that's happened previously. So Dave and I talked and said, okay, you're gonna get your book fixed. You went on a quest with Ellen SLR, and I give player agency to you. Okay. The two of you went off to do something to fix the book.
Well, this is what we had to do. We had to travel for 3 days and 3 nights to a grove of pine trees in the mountains. Mm-hmm. It just formed this natural geometric pattern between this mountain pond and the pine trees. And when the moon struck through the trees into the pond itself, reflecting, we began a ritual to purge the curse from it. And my elf friend actually led the ritual, but he trained me in how to do it and what my part would be. And so, after 3 hours of chanting and etching, and then another 3 hours of beseeching the magic, the book was cast into the center of the pond, onto where the actual moon reflected, except for it never touched it. It just kind of hovered above it. And it opened, and as it opened, the pages, like as if the air was still, but as if the wind was rustling the pages, it flipped through from page. All around it seemed almost like a fairy dust sparkling in the moonlight, until it finally completed, and then it settled onto the water and floated to the shore back to us. Yet, nothing got wet or damaged.
All right, so I'm going to insert something as a DM here. Cool story. The book is now going to radiate, minute amounts of magic, and it's written in moonlight.
Wow. Oh, cool. So, and the idea too for the book is it's actually like my first spell book. So my original spells were basically inscribed into this book. And then from there, we traveled back to Uthen-Gar. And I spent the next couple weeks actually, before going back to my hold, like I should have did right away, forging and wrought a gift for my elf friend. And I used the most delicate of smithing skills I could possibly use to make this refined figurine, because I found that he doesn't really fancy jewelry or anything like that. Because I used a little bit of my intellect and investigation to actually delve into his past a little bit, and his personality a little bit.
And he's been around the town for a while, so there's definitely people get in contact with and ask. So
what I found out, he really reveres sparrows. So I crafted out of silver and gold the most like life sparrow that I could possibly make, and it actually with articulated joints that could be posed in numerous fashions. And so I've worked on that, and as a gift of thanks, I went and gave that to him. I found I went and found a pine box that I then inlaid with silver and moon runes, to put it in and give him as a gift as a thank you.
He is very, very touched, and through all of this, you've fostered that relationship. You've changed ever so subtly his viewpoint on dwarves. He knows that they're great smiths, and they're capable of working metal unlike any other. And while he'll still feel that most dwarves are pig-headed and the axe.
So I actually went through the trouble too of using elven techniques to make it.
Very awesome.
I love the hand of elves.
You
I don't think that's gonna.
That's what you gotta do. And then, when I give the gift to him, I bow to him, and in elven, which I've been practicing, but at this particular phrase, I've been practicing for weeks, just to get it right and trying to remove
the proper inflections
and remove my dwarven accent from it as best I can. My thanks to my friend, my brother.
Awesome.
And I am forever in your debt.
Well, he's you've between the gift and the perfect enunciation, you've kind of left him speechless. So you have basically at beck and call, whatever you could ask a friend, you could ask of him.
Yeah, so I don't stay very long because I still have things to go. Because I immediately want to set out to Crethen Gulch, which is the dwarven hold that I'm from, and return the book that I was sent to originally to Phil. Put into it all the knowledge that I've gained beyond that, with the blood cultists and the dark magics and. Even this elven ritual that I just, went through and all my experiences and all my new spells, inscribe it. I give it to the leader of my clan.
Okay. So basically that ritual, once a month in that specific location, you can ritual cast, remove curses, a 3-hour ritual.
Okay.
So if you want to add that into your regular book.
Okay. When I go back to the hold, Uthen-Gar, which is my father, who I am named for, I present to him this book, tell him everything that's transpired, and explain to him, Father, I must go back out into the world and leave the hold once again.
But your time is done.
My time is done, but something has happened.
What presses you more than home and clan?
Once again, I've brought shame to our family and our hold. I was befelled by a cursed dagger.
Always with the curses, you.
I am plagued of great evil. Of these blood cultists that have been plaguing the Griffin-Gaff people?
Rumor has it that, it's dealt with now.
It is. It's the item is of their making or their master's making, and
that bloody wound again.
Yes. And it befell into my hands, and overtook my will. I was able to resist it on several occasions, but finally it wore me down, and I wielded it against the enemies of Griffin-Gaff and slew them brutally. More brutally than needed for a warrior.
And you haven't just brought the hammer down and destroyed the thing?
I've tried. It wasn't only after I tried destroying it that it possessed me. I beseeched the priests of the humans of Griffin-Gaff. So, I told them 7 years. 7 years we needed to pray upon this thing before we smite it.
You know them.
They
humans.
gave me 7 hours. I knew it would not be enough.
You know them humans.
They're impatient. So once again, I found the dagger in my possession. I used it upon the enemies of Griffin-Gaff, and then I wandered off in a haze.
And you have it now?
I do have it, right? Yeah, I do have it, and I have sworn an oath that I will not rest until this thing is destroyed and unmade.
Well, can't have you being an oath breaker.
I would not want to have to haunt these halls, or any other for that matter.
Well, then be off with ye.
Aye. And with that, I'll trudge back to Griffin-Gaff.
So in and amongst all of this, you've also, still been working at the smithy.
Yeah, so yeah, for you guys out there, right? Uthen-Gar, unlike most adventurers, actually has a day job. When he was done with his soldiering gig, which he still stays at the barracks and lives like a soldier, but during the day, if he's not adventuring or having other things to go, he actually has found the best human smith in the town of Griffin-Gaff to work for, and he's basically been working towards his suit of full plate armor that he's been crafting, and at the same time he's been working for the smith. so earning a modest wage. And so Uthen-Gar is a really busy guy. He's got a regular job he goes to every day.
He's off on adventures.
He's
with
off
these
on
guys
adventures,
and
saving
with,
the town, murdering townsfolk, getting cursed again. There's a lot going on there.
All right, so your full plate is finally done. You've been working for this guy and working on the armor. On when there's not another client to do stuff for. So your balance is taken care of. You've got your full plate. Go ahead and adjust your equipment and your AC as need be. Is there anything else that you're going to try and cram into this year?
No, full plate, learning Elven, breaking a curse. The dagger's on hold until he figures something out. I think he's done quite enough for the year.
All right, so that's what Uthen-Gar did with his downtime. If you're watching the game, you can follow along to what each of these characters get to do with this massive expanse of time. So until next time, stay nerdy.